Shabbat Shalom. I did it, but at the same time, we did it. Being raised through this community, including every possible level of the religious school, makes me think there really isn't anything left for the temple to do for me at this point. I have spent a lot of time here over the course of 18 years. The first time I ever stepped foot in the building was actually at 8 days old, and that was the start of a fantastic journey. Growing up and going to Friday night services, you would probably see me running in circles around the synagogue, rolling on the floor and playing with whoever my mom could possibly find. My parents knew how important it was for me to be in this place. Being raised in Piscataway, a very non-Jewish town, I had to accept the fact that I had to devote every single Saturday morning to Hebrew school. This news I never took well. I wanted to sleep in, watch cartoons, do whatever a normal kid does on a Saturday morning. But for my family, this was the normal. I was learning the basics of Judaism from the gone to second grade. Next, it was time to step it up to twice a week and start learning Hebrew. This also included the start of being in the youth group. This was a time for not learning Hebrew, but learning more about our values as Jews. Unfortunately, at this time, I also had my first anti-Semitic experience on a middle school bus ride as a sixth grader. This strengthened my Jewish identity. I know going to the world as a Jew can be hard, and I feel prepared to stand up for what I believe in. I was never really a fan of Hebrew school up until after my bar mitzvah. Even though bar mitzvah season was definitely top-notch, however, it was the high school program that really made me love this place. Starting off strong my freshman year, I joined the youth group on a civil rights trip to Birmingham, Alabama. On this trip, I did not only learn about our deep American history, but I participated in new experiences, including walking over the famous Edmund Pettus Bridge and visiting the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. That Sunday morning, we joined the current Ebenezer Baptist Church in service, and it's still to this day some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard. The trip to Birmingham was an amazing experience, and also was the trip where I formed multiple relationships I still have to this day. My sophomore year, we joined several different synagogues across the country at the Religious Action Center conference in Washington, D.C. We were lucky enough to join this trip in the nick of time, since it was a couple weeks before the pandemic. On this trip, we went into depth about how we care about and how we as teenagers can change the world. As a group, we came together to write some words for our state senators to try to make a difference in our world that is changing every day. The pandemic was hard for me, and it took away something that me and my family had been planning for basically my whole life, which is joining Heller High for a semester in Israel. Israel would have been the best moment of my life, but stuff happens, and I'll always be thankful for the opportunity, and I promise I'll be there very, very soon. On that note of gratitude, there are a lot of people I would like to thank for helping me through my journey at Anshe Emeth. Every single one of my teachers throughout the years, Cantor Ott, Cantor Stanton, Rabbi Miller, Rabbi Baisley, Matthew Vogel for always being by my side, and David White. Also my extended family, Sarah and Stu Levine, David and Lisa Levine, Leslie Malpe, and the rest of the community. And a special shout out to Jared Gordon, Jesse Cohen, Will Bad for being my buddy this whole year, my graduation class behind me for sticking with me, my sisters Emma and Taylor for paving the way for me, and finally my parents for always being there and not giving me the choice to leave Hebrew school. I'm very thankful for that. My religious school journey definitely flew by, but it was the relationships I formed and the lessons I learned that made this all worth it. The impact from the temple has been significant, and I wouldn't be the open-minded and kind man that I am without the lessons I learned here as a Jew at Anshe Emeth. Thank you to this community. Shabbat Shalom.